The history of this project first started from the conclusion drawn by the eghhr Institute Russian Federation in 1964 to 1965 to build a HPP at 28 sites in Mongolia. One of them was at the end of the eghhr River, more than 450 kilometres from Ulaanbaatar in the territory of Hotakunda, Sum, Bulgan province, located 2.5 kilometres upstream from the confluence of the Egh and Silink rivers, where this eghhr hydropower plant is planned to be constructed. Bulgan province, located 2.5 kilometres upstream from the confluence of the Egh and Silink rivers, where this eghhr hydropower plant is to be planned to be constructed. In 1991, Government of Mongolia decided to start construction of the eghhr hydropower plant, the eghpp. Also, this year, Development Bank committed for funding of technical and economic feasibility study and detailed environmental assessment applying soft loan and grant assistance extended by the bank. In 1992-1995, Electrowatt Engineering, ELC, Electro Consult. In 1997-1998, initiatives by Malaysia and Czechoslovakia to invest and construct a hydropower plant were not realised without being influenced by the Mongolian side. In 2007, an additional detailed environmental assessment was completed. A consortium of Sinomac and Kamaz companies participated in the tender, but decided to use the above-mentioned loan for other projects. On November 16, 2013, Government of Mongolia decided to start construction of the eghhr hydropower plant. On November the 22nd, 2013, the Energy Minister passed a resolution to establish Project Implementation Unit of the eghpp, and the Project Implementation Unit started its activities. In April 2014, Tractebel Engineering, France, was selected as the project consultant for the eghpp and started upgrading works of the previous technical and economic feasibility study. In March 2015, the Government of Mongolia decided financing of the eghpp project by the soft loan of the People's Republic of China. In October 2015, concession agreement was established by the infrastructure works of the preliminary stage of the eghpp project by the resolution of the Government of Mongolia. Today, the energy sector of Mongolia is strongly dependent on imported energy, and its technology is out of date because its power plants generate electricity by burning raw coal and polluting the environment. Currently, daily peak load of 970 megawatts and off-peak load of 650 megawatt. The difference is going to up to 320 megawatts due to household-dominated electricity consumption growth. I'll do this again. Currently, daily peak load 970 megawatts and the off-peak load of 650 megawatt. The difference is going up to 320 megawatts due to household-dominated electricity consumption growth. It is difficult to talk about independency of our energy system because we import expensive power needed for system regulation. Having constructed the eghpp, an independent power system of our country will be established in its real meaning, and we will be able to regulate our system and have reserve capacity. The Federation has been increasing the price of electricity supplied from year to year. On average, we pay them US $24 to $25 million each year. Power Grid of the Central Energy System has already paid US $178.6 million to the Russian Federation for electricity imported from Russian Federation in 1997-2015. If EGPP was constructed in 1997, the payment equivalent would be 64% of the constructed cost of that time and would have been saved. Among them, the share of this pollution by the power plants is 85% of the energy demand of our country and is significant, and these power plants burn on average 4.8 million tonnes of coal and emit 108 million cubic metres of flue gas and sulfuric acid, 98.4 tonnes of ash to the atmosphere per year. After having constructed 315 megawatt eghpp, it reduces raw coal consumption substantially and is of great importance to reduce greenhouse gases released into the air in Ulaanbaatar city, other towns and large suburban settlements by 709,000 tonnes per year. Mongolia is one of the countries where desertification is intensified because within only the last decade more than 500 rivulets and creeks have dried up. Construction of the eghpp is a strategic project to ensure the nation's water supply security, creating clean water and resources, of having 5.7 billion cubic metres volume, which is 2.5 times as big as Tian Shan Lake. In fact, before 2013, there was no independent project unit, and specialists of sectorial ministry were responsible in addition to their main job. Project unit consists of scholars, researchers and experts of all relevant fields. Historical obligation not to repeat lessons learnt and successfully implementation of this project fell to the staff of the project unit. Updated technical and economic feasibility study was carried out using the US $1.5 million according to the agreement made in 2014 between the eghpp project unit and the Tractebel Engineering France companies. But in 1992-1995, technical and economic feasibility study was completed, funded by US $5.2 million by Electrowatt LLC, Switzerland, Electroconsult LLC, Italy, and Uzny Airchim LLC, Mongolia. The reason to update the previous technical and economic feasibility study completed in 1992-1995 are as follows. Some studies were left out altogether. Apart from this, because at that time water and energy was only estimated based on the data of 1945 to 1989, we have updated the previous study using data collected from 1989 to 2011. The methodology used before for regional earthquake and seismicity studies was completely changed today. In 2007, the total project cost was US $398.3 million, but it increased up to US $827.6 million in 2014, according to the updated technical and economic feasibility study. As a result of this calculation, the crest of the dam increased by 10 metres and the reservoir level also increased up to the level of 910 metres. By this way, installed capacity increased from 220 megawatts up to 315 megawatts. Thus, we became able to cover the winter peak load not by imported electric energy, but by the energy produced in Mongolia. In connection with the 43.2% increase of the HPP output, the dam cross-section increased by 30 metres in the dam crest, the height by 10 metres and the dam foundation by 80 metres, and the dam volume by 65.9% respectively. The dam volume became 910,000 cubic metres. All these became the main reason of increasing the project cost. At the same time, it was also an influential factor that the equipment cost has increased 3.1 times at the international market. Prediction of energy consumption estimate performed by the National Dispatching Centre showed that the peak capacity deficit of the central energy system will be over 300 megawatts in the next 5 years. Therefore, in the updated feasibility study, the project optimisation resulted in an installed capacity of 315 megawatts.
Tractable Engineering LLC, project consulting company, made studies on potential hydrological impacts from the eghhr hydropower plant project on Selang River and Baikal Lake water regimes by 2 stages, making calculations considering reservoir filling and operation periods. Operation of the eghhr hydropower plant will not cause any impact on annual inflow to the lake of Baikal. Final conclusion was that annual hydrological impact to the Baikal Lake water volume during reservoir filling period or through 2 to 3 years after construction of the eghhr hydropower plant is negligible, because this impact is equivalent with 0.020 to 0.023% of the Baikal Lake water volume. Having implemented the Environmental Protection Management Plan, Environmental Monitoring and Analysis Program, measures and recommendations specified by above assessments, we will have opportunity to implement this project with minimum impact.
Forest Research and Development Centre, SBE, of the MEGD conducted detailed studies of trees, bushes, shrubs covering the area. During the study, fallen and burnt trees were cleaned and from 14 hectares and sapling trees transferred from 6 hectares of land. Project unit operates within Tiemann Conservation Fund that has ample research study experience at the Egg River, led by Director Men Sachen, Senior Researcher of the Institute of Geoecology of Mongolian Academy of Sciences, and Director Olaf Jensen, Professor of Rutgers University, USA. Pre-construction period, construction period and operation period. It is planned to conduct fish study for 5 to 7 years, taking into account of above mentioned 3 main periods. Detailed research study includes fish movement, food content, habitat, genetic construction and other studies within 100 kilometres of Egg and Selang River catchment area. Archaeological team consists of scientists and researchers from the Institute of Archaeology of the Mongolian Academy of Sciences, National Museum and the universities and institutes conducted surveys and exploration cooperation with specialists of the eghhr project unit for 2 years and found in total more than 400 findings. Archaeological exhibitions were organised in the main hall of the National Museum, showing exhibits starting from rare and eye-catching ones not studied before, including Stone Age, Hun period, as well as exhibits related to the 13th century to the public. There live about 300 local people, or 88 households, in the Kangai bag of the Hotagonda Sum, Balgan province. In the project site and in the settlement shall be organised before the commencement of the project construction. Engineering, geological and geodetic studies shall be completed and the place chosen based on the suggestion by local people where the Hangtai Bag Centre shall be moved. General plan, detailed environmental impact assessment and state inspection and certification of land quality were prepared based on the report of the above study and land ordinance.
National Development Authority, Government Implementation Agency, signed an agreement in October 2015 with Gijuba from China to perform preliminary infrastructure works required for construction of eghhr hydropower plant are as follows.
I'd like to mention it again that if we could have constructed eghhr hydropower plant 50 years earlier, when its study was first completed at that time, how much benefit Mongolia could have enjoyed until today. First of all, having constructed eghpp will create clean water resource of 5.7 billion cubic metres, preventing from desertification, and also creates favourable conditions for land farming, fisheries, aquatic fauna, birds, water sports, and for the development of local and foreign tourism. This is an environmentally friendly project which is of great significance for local economic development. eghpp is able to keep tariffs and prices sustainable, competitive, becoming firm basis for development of industrial production and provision of services. Considering technology, coal-fired power stations operate in base load regime and manoeuvring capability is low. Having up speed is slow and technical capability to operate as a system operator is too limited. All such technical difficulties will be fully solved by the eghhr HPP. Therefore, only eghpp is capable of ensuring independent, stable and reliable operation of the energy system of our country and also regulation of the system. Mongolia not have energy dependency and could have established energy system which ensures independent, reliable and stable energy supply. Because of this, construction of the HPP become vital strategic task for each government of our country.